What the Study Says.
Welcome back to What the Study Says. I'm Dr. Kai.
And I'm Dr. May.
Now imagine dedicating 35 years of your life to tracking the growth of a single fingernail.
It sounds completely absurd at first, right?
Right. But that is the exact premise of our deep dive today. We are looking at the 2025 Ig Nobel Literature Prize winner.
Yes, the Ig Nobels. They are those fantastic satirical awards that, first make you laugh and then they make you think.
Exactly. And this year's winner is a fascinating stack of medical papers by Dr. William B. Bean,
who turned his own left thumbnail into basically a decades-long self-experiment.
So our mission today is to see how this meticulous daily observation reveals some rather profound biological secrets about aging, illness, and our modern environment.
Because taking something as mundane as clipping a nail and turning it into a 35-year longitudinal study is a totally unique approach to human biology.
I mean, he wasn't just tracking keratin.
No, he was effectively creating a physical timeline of his own cellular senescence.
The methodology requires a level of persistence that is,
frankly, hard to wrap your head around. On the first day of every month, Bean used a file to etch a tiny transverse groove just below the cuticle of his left thumbnail.
Then he counted the exact number of days it took for that specific mark to travel 1.45 centimeters.
Right to the free edge of the nail.
Measuring 1.45 centimeters with that level of precision over 3.5 decades leaves almost no room for error.
Especially because the length of his nail bed remained constant from his early 30s into his late 60s. It provided a fixed anatomical canvas.
Right, he didn't have to account for growing fingers or changing bone structures.
Which allowed him to create a highly reliable, quantifiable metric for his own regenerative capacity.
So does the speed of that growth stay consistent, or is he actually watching his biology slow down in real time?
He is watching it slow down. The data provides a really striking metric for aging.
At age 32, his nail grew at a rate of 0.123 millimeters per day.
And by the time he hit age 67, that rate had decreased to 0.095 millimeters per day.
That drop isn't just a statistical anomaly.
Not at all. It is a visible biological countdown clock showing how our cellular processes inevitably decelerate as we get older.
But beyond that slow baseline decline of aging, his data also captured acute physical disruptions.
Oh, the mumps anecdote.
Yes. There's a notable period where he contracted a severe case of the mumps, and the data showed that the accompanying fever caused the nail's growth to essentially halt for a period.
Which is a fascinating real-world example of the body's automatic triage system in action.
When you are fighting a severe infection, your immune system demands a massive amount of energy.
So producing structural proteins like keratin for your fingernails is suddenly classified as biologically non-essential.
The body halts that cellular reproduction, diverting all available resources to fighting the pathogen.
And severe systemic stress, like a high fever, disrupts the nail matrix. This often results in what dermatologists call Beau's lines.
Those horizontal ridges or indentations that physically grow out with the nail?
Exactly. Bean's careful measurements captured the exact chronological delay caused by that immunological diversion.
So when you look down at your own hands, you are essentially looking at a slowly moving keratin kymograph.
To borrow a term from early physiology, yes.
A kymograph is one of those old-school medical instruments, a rotating drum wrapped in paper where a needle physically draws a continuous graph of data over time.
Measuring things like blood pressure or muscle contractions.
So our nails are acting as that paper drum, quietly recording an ongoing physical ticker tape of our health, our aging process, and, as being discovered, our environment.
And the environmental data might be the most revealing part of his 35-year observation. Historically, medical literature suggested that human nails grow faster in the summer and slower in the winter.
Because of climatic changes and increased circulation during warmer months.
But Bean's study found zero seasonal variation.
Which is wild, because I always assumed the summer growth spike was an established physiological fact. How does a 35-year study show no seasonal fluctuation at all?
Bean concluded that it comes down to our modern indoor environment. Central heating and air conditioning have created a homothermic existence.
We live in a state of constant controlled temperature.
By effectively removing ourselves from natural weather extremes, we have nullified the climatic effects on the body that earlier generations experienced.
Looking at the entirety of this experiment, it provides a striking reminder that our body's regenerative speed slowly winds down with age and pauses during severe illness.
It is a profound scientific truth gathered not with complex machinery, but with a nail file and decades of patience.
It really highlights how much physiological data we carry around with us, largely ignored, right at our fingertips.
Absolutely.
If you enjoyed this deep dive, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and share it with someone who might find this as fascinating as we do.
We'd really appreciate the support.
It helps us bring you more of these stories, and it leaves you a rather compelling question to ponder.
What's that?
If our modern climate-controlled homes have completely erased the natural seasonal rhythms of our cellular growth, what other ancient biological cycles have we unknowingly shut down simply by living indoors?